Changing minds one thought at a time.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the Motivate Social Podcast, where we are bringing you people who are changing the world via social media. I am Dr. Akina Finch, but before we get started, I can't do what I do without you know who. My co-host Vanessa Canterbury. How you doing?
I am great. How are you?
I am fabulous, and I am super excited to introduce this wonderful guest we have tonight. You know, she's an author, a speaker, and of course, the CEO of the Womb Sauna. Let me introduce everyone to one of my favorite people, one of my favorite mentees, Miss Thema Azize Serwa. How are you today?
Woo!
Yes. How are you, darling?
I am wonderful. What an honor to be in this conversation with both you and Vanessa. Thank you for having me. I love both of you very much, and we've been able to do amazing things together. So I'm happy to be in this conversation. Can't wait to have the chat with the listeners.
Wonderful. Yes. And before we get started, you know, the question that we ask everybody, what are you doing to change the world via social media?
That's a great question. So, about 8.5 years ago, I made a covenant with myself to share my story online through social media. And when I started doing that through YouTube and Facebook primarily, I was doing it just as like a form of releasing shame about the things that were happening in my life. And to my surprise, people all over the world was listening to me tell my story and my journey of healing. And it began to act social media to literally empower people to learn how to heal everything in their life, mind, body, and spirit. And our biggest presence is on Facebook, YouTube, followed by Instagram, and we have a growing community on LinkedIn.
Wow, that's bold. And the reason why I say it's bold is because so many people are ashamed of their experience and to announce what they're going through in order for them to heal. There is very few you will hear be authentic about it. That's the best way to put it. And for you to be able to go forward and just to be able to put something out there as your release mechanism, you just didn't know in return you was open up that door of a conversation, but then healing in it. And that right there is commendable in itself. um what made you decide to say I'd rather go to social media versus writing a letter to yourself?
I was doing that, and writing the letter to myself was one layer of like the healing for me. But I noticed that I had a lot of self judgment, and I would be sitting by myself in my head, battling with a lot of negative self talk. And so I needed an outlet outside of my head. And at that time, I think it might have started even with like My Black Planet, or what was it called? It's old now, but it
I
started.
think it was called Black Planet.
Yeah, it started for me with Black Planet, and then Facebook started popping. Um, and what I discovered was allowing people to hear me share my thoughts about, the negative things or the things I didn't like about myself. I realized that I was lovable in ways I never knew, because a complete stranger across the world would hear my story and say, oh my goodness, I'm feeling what you're feeling, and be encouraged. You're going to make it through. And we could have this exchange through social media that brought all the walls down. And it allowed me to realize that even on my worst day, I'm loved.
Wow. Even on my worst day, I am loved. That
Yeah.
is beautiful. That is beautiful. And you know, a lot of people need to hear that. And I am very familiar with your community. Let the womb be heard. And
Yes.
that is so amazing because, you know, I had my first experience on, y'all call it the pot.
You pop that squat. Yes, give God praise. Yes, you did.
Yes, the womb steaming. And my goodness, you have turned this into a full, um, oh my goodness, corporation and beyond. So tell us a little bit about Let the Womb Be Heard and how all of this evolved.
So Let the Womb Be Heard is a group I created on Facebook where I wanted women to have a safe space to express whatever was going on inside of them, and be able to interact with each other and hold that space for each other. We run wild and free. We talk about non-conventional things. And I could have never imagined it would be what it is today. I mean, our community is over 1,400 women. And there's activity every day. Our engagement levels are phenomenal. Um, we laugh, we cry. We just had somebody post their rainbow baby. I call them my womb sauna babies. I could not have imagined that it would be what it is. But what's beautiful about it is we as women need to be able to express ourselves without the pretense, without our avatars, right? Because sometimes when you're trying to develop relationships, you present your masked self first because of your fear of rejection, and your fear of not being understood or not knowing enough, being in the room with other people who may know a lot. But in this space, everybody comes in as they are, and we learn a lot from each other. We grow each other. We share authentically. And I'm very proud of what we've been able to create online. Who knew you could do that through social media?
As I say all the time, the power of social media. There's so many ways that you can connect with people just through via social media. And then when you are authentic, because we got a lot of false people out here. But when you really building up those relationships with people, they connect with you in a way like wait a minute, I've been looking for somebody like you for a long time. And it's like a humbling experience. So I'm loving what you're doing. I already went over there and went to join your group. I sure did.
You can act wild and crazy and powerful because to me, social media is a tool. I hear people be like, oh, I can't stand social media and it's distracting, but I feel like your TV could be that. Like, it's what you make it. And because I am intentional about the use of my energy and I'm a good steward of my energy, I use social media as a tool of empowerment. And it has empowered me not only in my business, which I know Mama Finch, I call her Mama Finch, will be proud to know we made it into 12 global markets this year. So, not only has it helped me with my brand and the expansion and growth of it, I done found cousins I didn't know I had. I remember I literally found one of my cousins and I saw her name. I said, are we related? Because we look so much alike. And literally, I done found family, pictures of family members that I never got before. I mean, so it really is what you make it. And as with every other area of our life where we bring mindfulness and intention, we should do the same with what we do with social media.
That was beautiful. A lot of times people only see the negative side. But guess what? Everything has a negative side, just like everything has a positive side. You
That's
have to choose which side you're going to work with and then deal with the other one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, in that way, and you have been so amazing with the things that you've touched people. And one of the things that I have always thought, yes, and congratulations for the 12 markets, yes, yes.
All
And,
over the world.
um, and let's talk about these 12 markets. What are you doing for these women? How are you touching them in these 12 markets?
So healing is contagious. And I really believe that when one woman awakens to her power to create whatever kind of life she wants, which is often activated through women having some kind of womb imbalance, whether it's fibroids, painful cycles, or whatever. Whatever your womb is calling your attention to is a reflection of something going on in your life. So literally my business and my brand started with what I call my womb story. And then as I healed my womb, it lit a fire in some other women, and it lit another fire. And then, so literally right now, what we're doing and mobilizing our brand all over the world is activating women's awareness that your womb is the seat of your creative power. And that as a woman, you have an advantage, because if you can take flesh, wrap it up, and bring it into this realm called earth, you can pay your bills, you can build wealth, you can birth your dreams, you can get your dream car, you can take care of your family. And so what my practitioners do, I certify them, I train them, and I set them up in different regions throughout the world to be able to offer our services, our business model, our products. And literally, we're changing the world one woman at a time.
You over here leaving me speechless, which is something that's rare. I'm just like, wow, wait a minute. Whoa. Like, that is rare. Because I'm all in my head was just going. I was like, okay. When people need to understand that when we was birthed in our mother's womb,
talk about it. Mm-hmm.
There was something stirred up in there. There was, a blessing that was in there. And sometimes when we get caught up in our own stuff, we get distracted from those moments that was birthed in our mother's womb.
Now, I'm an ordained interfaith minister. Now, I got to preach a little bit, because in Jeremiah, God told us that even before you were in your mother's womb, I knew you. And we forget that when we were in our mother's wombs, we were in our grandmother's wombs. We've been downloading all of this information. We as women are some of the movers of economies. We set the foundation for culture in our households and our communities. Like, we are needed, and our well-being is not negotiable. Our world right now is going through a lot of change. And part of the reason is because we as women have been needing to restore our queenhood, sit in our rightful divine seat, and stand in the full expression of our power. But it's been difficult for a lot of women to truly know who they are. If you grow up in a patriarchal mindset culture, sometimes you are considered inferior just because of your womanhood. But the womb sauna is being intentional and powerful in changing that paradigm. For me, it's already changed. And that's what preserves my momentum, because I know how important we as women, whether we're daughters, mothers, wives, moguls, our vibration, our energy is essential to the healing of our world.
Oh my
It's
goodness.
necessary.
Oh, it is necessary.
Mm-hmm.
It is necessary. In our lines of work, we cross many paths of many women.
Mm-hmm.
We see powerful women. We see, dormant women. We see women on the cusp of greatness. We see them all. And I love the fact that in your space, you're able to give them the freedom to be, first of all, because a lot of places in the world right now don't even let you just be.
Yes.
You have to be this, you have to be that, you better get on it, you better get them coins, you better da. But instead, in your space, you let them just be. You teach them how to just be and accept who they are. Because if they can accept the canvas, how can you build upon it?
Yeah.
How can you add more colors if you can't even accept the canvas that you're working with?
Mm-hmm.
That's
good.
And and that's what I got from what you were saying. Know your past, know the wombs that you've come through, so
Yes.
that you can build that future up.
Because how can you break the generational curse if you don't know what the generations have done? Like, how can you be the one to bring in the blessing and you don't even know your history? You know, and that's important. And I really have a theory. I don't have any data to back it up, but my theory is that every human being on the planet is here for the same purpose, regardless of what your talents and gifts are. And I think that purpose is twofold, and it is to know yourself and be yourself. I dream of a world where everybody wakes up knowing who they are and their core, and you live from that place. That would eliminate so many problems that we have in our culture and in our societies if we would just know ourselves beyond what you can accomplish. Because right now we see a lot of people, especially entrepreneurs, who are living lives according to what I can achieve. But you got to choose an alignment-driven life over an achievement-driven life, because you can plateau in your achievements. Once you get to the top of the ladder, where else can you go? But when you're in alignment, you're moving more in a spiral. And now it's about your creativity. Now it's about your passion. Now it's about what God tells you in your ear about who you are. And you align with that truth. And now you're limitless. You know, I like to give the analogy of an athlete. That athlete could be the best football player there is, but don't break your leg. Because then what? And if you haven't planned on a broader experience and view of who you are, you'll go into a depression thinking your life is over a broken leg, and all you got to do is pivot, right? So how many of us listening right now have abandoned our dreams because we haven't mastered the art of learning how to pivot? You're so attached to what you dream that you can't even hear God telling you there's a bigger dream. So sometimes you have to slow down, be still, and really go deep within and redefine who you are outside of what you can accomplish.
So you hit on something there where, and I'm really big on this, is about breaking generational curses and knowing the history of where it started. Mm-hmm. And I tell people all the time that, you know, we good for pointing the finger. We good for doing that. But we never take the time out to be able to find out where did this behavior come from, of us repeating the same thing over and over and over and over again. And we don't want to go deep, because if we go deep, then we probably get caught up in something that we just didn't want to know, but we need to know in order for us to heal and stop this repetitive cycle of breaking other people by pointing the fingers at them too. Mm-hmm. Right? So we have to get to a place of just being willing to go there if you really want to be able to heal. Yeah. You got to stop jumping ship just to be able to pass something and say, you know what, I really don't want to deal with this right now, but if I move over here, then I could be able to do something new over here. No, well, you're going to stop at some point, because it's going to show up again in what you jump from.
So you mastered a lesson.
You know what I mean?
Because listen, Jay-Z, who came straight up out the hood, said, in order to become a billionaire, you know, they just reported he became a billionaire at age 50. He said, in order to become a billionaire, I had to stop thinking like a millionaire. I had to address my patterns. Beyonce, when she just did the 2020 commencement speech for folks online and everybody was going viral about, one of the things that was trending was when she said, stop complaining about the pattern and be the one to change it. Like you're so quick to point, like you said, Vanessa, point the fingers at what's not right. But are you positioning yourself to change the trajectory of what your legacy is? And if you are, that change begins with you. And information is just data that you need to know what you need to shift. People get scared of knowing the secrets and what really happened, but you need that information so you can be the polarity, so you can become the black sheep and the one that sticks out like a sore thumb. Because if you're here, that is your ancestors' dream for you. They have passed a torch to you. That's why you were born, to be able to move things ahead in your bloodline. But how can you do that if you're ignorant? Because it may sound like a cliche, but knowledge comes, you know, before the power comes knowledge. Knowledge is power. We got to know where we come from. I think the biggest generational curse I see perpetuated in the work that I do is poverty. And, you know, because I know there's an audience listening that is interested in wealth and abundance, I want to say that I find that there's a direct correlation between poverty and what people believe their self-worth is. But baby, the day that you wake up knowing you are worthy of perpetual abundance, you begin to change your thoughts, your language, and your decisions. And you become personally invested in figuring out what is my personal formula for wealth and abundance. What do I need to figure out about the way I think and the way I, you know, relate to my money? And what do I need to figure out so it can flip for me? And then you get curious and adventurous and you start trying different things. Maybe you go try MLM model and then you say, oh, that didn't create as much wealth as I want. And then you go try this and you go launch a business. And before you know it, instead of wasting time thinking that I'm not good enough and I'm not ready enough, you're making progress because you believe that you are worthy of the abundance. That's what you need to get moving, a different belief in yourself. So whoever's listening who needed that, I just want to honor you and say that you are worthy and you are ready. So go get it.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. Oh my God. I think we need to just end it right there because it's nothing left to be said. I mean, you honored the people. It was amazing. It really was amazing. So now, with that being said, can you tell us how we can find you? How we can connect with you?
The best thing to do, honestly, is to go to Google and type in your search bar, the womb sauna. You will see that we are covering the first couple of pages. All of our social media handles will pop right up from Google. Our website ranks 1 when you type in the womb sauna. And from there, you can follow us on Facebook, YouTube. I have over 200 videos to help you with your self-care and your focus training. You can find those on LinkedIn, Instagram, and then join our email list from our website, thewombsauna.com. You can get a free guided meditation to support you in declaring that you are healed and whole. And so when you go to our webpage, you can just pop in your email address and download that guided meditation.
Well, let me tell you, I thank you so much. And I know Dr. Finch, she's over there just shouting. It's been really amazing because Dr. Finch and I have been on this journey on, with the upcoming conference and everything. And we talk about a lot of these things that you're talking about. And for you to, to do it from the womb place, it's still the healing place, right? Mm-hmm. And I just commend you. I want you to continue to, soar because it's so needed. It's needed. It's necessary. It's like a requirement for your everyday life. And so I'm just like at an all-time high. This is absolutely amazing. I just can't say nothing else. I don't have no closing remarks because the stamp of approval is already done. It's truly, truly already done. And my goodness, thank you. Yes,
you're welcome. And thank you both of you. I just want to say as we close out, both of you have given me moments where you poured into my spirit and into my heart. And it is so good to see you two providing this platform where people can come in and share their heart and their gifts and it be a blessing to people. So please don't stop. Please keep going. The world needs Vanessa and Dr. Finch. We need y'all to be doing the things that you're doing. So I commend both of you and I'm happy that you had me here.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Yes. And, if y'all enjoyed this, I need y'all to go on over there to Motivate Social Podcast and download this. Keep this in your toolbox because there's going to be times when you're feeling down and out and you needed those words that Thema just spoke into your spirit on repeat. So go ahead and just download this podcast, because this is all you're going to need, right?
Mhm.
And you can find it on your social media at Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, at Changing Minds Online. And of course, our website, which is also Changing Minds Online. You can't forget it, Changing Minds Online, right? And so thank you so much, Thema, for being on today. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. You're welcome. I love y'all. It's been a treat.
Thank you. Thank
Yes, this is absolutely a treat. Amazing.
you. Yes, yes. So remember, everybody, come on over. And then after you come over to us, go over there to Let the Womb Be Heard and join in on those conversations. Get your guided meditation. Do all the things that Thema said to connect with her. You won't regret it. And on that note, everyone, I want to wish everybody a great night. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.